So hello good people of the internet, it is I, Tommy Kelly, and this is Adventures in Woo Woo, and this is the October vlog. So, good people of the internet, welcome to Joyce's Quay. This is kind of a town. I would say it's not even a town, there's like literally a shop and a pub, but it's like a beach area where you also have a camping ground just over there full of mobile homes. My grandparents would have had a mobile home here when I was a kid, but I only came once or twice that I can remember anyway, and I was camped here a few times when I was a teenager. So I have a couple of memories from here and it's pretty cool. But as you can see, it's quite, the tide is in, it's a bit windy and the waves are quite loud, so hopefully this comes out. So, October vlog, what is going on in my life? Well, as you can see, I shaved my head. I was getting quite sick of my other hair. It was kind of one of those ideas with my other hair that I had in my head that it would look cool, and then when it came to it was just really annoying, so I just cut it off. The other thing is I'm still not in the office, which is really getting on my nerves at this stage. There was an issue with carpet tiles that I bought off Amazon, and the company I bought them off just was a comedy of errors over a whole month that got immensely frustrating. From they didn't send it out initially until I emailed them, go, where is my stuff? And then they kind of tried to blame the courier for it. Then they sent out the wrong colour, and then they sent out replacements which was also the exact same wrong colour. And then eventually there was more messing up, so where they said, oh, it'll be here this day, and there wasn't. And then eventually I ended up having to go to the next town to meet the courier, and on the third replacement it was still the same wrong colour that they had sent me. So I just ended up getting a refund in the end. But it was a whole month wasted basically waiting for these things. So over the weekend I just started painting. It's a wooden floor, so I think I'll get away with it. Got some good quality floor paint and a load of coats, and I say it looks good so far, so hopefully I'll get it in this week. All going to plan, because I'm really looking forward to getting back into doing some art and some different type of videos. As much as I enjoy getting out and about and all these things, it is getting to winter kind of weather, and it's going to be less likely that I'll be able to do outdoor videos for a while, unless I find somewhere cool that's kind of shaded. So yeah, so I'll get back to doing some art videos, get back to doing some different things. One of the things that I won't be getting back to doing is the study group, because the last one that Peter Kingsley, A Story Waiting to Pierce, it was basically overall turned into a bit of a disaster. I had to delete it. And the reason I had to delete it is that I got an email Saturday morning from Peter Kingsley's people saying, pointing out, and in fairness didn't ask me to do anything, just pointed out the fact that doing a study group where you read out the text of a book is actually a copyright breach or copyright infringement, and you know, that against the law. No, didn't ask me actually to delete anything, didn't do anything. I just assumed it was a kind of a do the right thing type of email. She also mentioned that it was common courtesy to leave someone's website address, URL, if you talk about them in your YouTube video. And which it is, it's common, it is courtesy, but I hadn't done it on two videos where I talked about Peter Kingsley, which I've added since. It's the incubation one and the common sense one. And it's, you know, that's fair enough. And it was more, I think, more laziness than anything that I hadn't put it in rather than any malice. It's just that I usually always forget to do the description because I upload the videos, put them onto Patreon, and then it's a couple of days later that go in general release. And by then I've kind of forgot to update the descriptions and stuff like that. But anyway, so yeah, the thing with the study group, I ended up deleting it because it's just, you know, even though there was no actual request to delete it, there was an implication there that, you know, you shouldn't be at that, and fair enough. My only kind of issue with that, I suppose, directly in with the Peter Kingsley thing, is that he does talk about in his lectures about being the only person out here talking about these things, and that he needs help, and that he can't do it alone, and that kind of thing. And then when people are, in a sense, giving him help, or talking about it, or doing a study group or whatever, there's kind of this thing of where, you know, don't do that. So there's an incongruity, I think, between those two things. But I do understand with copyright, there is a kind of a thing that you have to be seen to be pursuing your copyright, or you can lose it. Which is why you get some of those kind of ludicrous kind of Disney or Marvel lawsuits about kids, you know, dressing up as Spider-Man, and they kind of go, no, you can't do that, and bring them to court. It's just kind of an idea that if you don't, you know, keep on top of your copyright, you can lose it. And I think it's more than just why can he do it and not I do it? But it's a kind of a form of that you have to be seen to be actually looking after your copyright. So it could be just a case that that's what was going on with Peter Kingsley. I know some people, when around 47 stuff, when they email me and stuff about, can I do this? I can't have to say, no, you can't, because you've told me about it. You know, but had I never known, you know, you probably could get away with these things, but I can't encourage that either, you know, because it's just, you have to be seen. Not even you have to be seen, but you have to kind of keep your copyright, because like give people an inch and they take a mile. Like you asked, or someone asked me, can I use this to make, you know, can I use one of the 47s and make a ring out of it for myself, for personal use? And he goes, hey, you can do whatever you want. And then a couple of weeks later you go, I'm selling rings. 47's rings, I have permission. And I go, you do not have permission. You said, can I make a ring for myself personally, not can I make a business out of it. So I understand the whole thing of around copyright, that you kind of have to, not in one sense let people away with anything, because people will just, you know, go all out and take everything from you. But very friendly email, nothing hostile about it at all. At best kind of chastising, I suppose, but that could be me projecting onto it, because, you know, you're being chastised, you're being kind of told don't do this kind of thing. And again, a bit of incongruity between his message in his lectures and what his actual actions are in the end too. So yeah, I don't know, it's a pity. The study group, I do understand, I suppose, that if you are going to be reading from a book, that it is how different is it from, you know, doing an illegal kind of audiobook version of something. And it was kind of my hesitation about you doing a more modern book was because of that, because it's still in its kind of modern cycle. Like, people have been suggesting doing some of Gordon White's work, or even you know, something more kind of modern like that. And I was kind of go, well, no, I don't feel comfortable in that. And I suppose I should transfer that entire thing to, I shouldn't feel comfortable doing it to anyone's book. Because I suppose, would I like someone to make an illegal audiobook version of my thing? And I don't think I would. But I don't think that's exactly what it was either. Like, people have done study groups around the 47s, and I haven't got paid for them, or I haven't, you know, got anything, and they've charged for it. And I think that's cool. I'm honoured by it. And I think, you know, that there's been ones done in Brazil, there's been ones done in Australia. You know, and for me, that's cool. But maybe I'm just at a far different place than someone like Peter Kingsley is, and, you know, it's not cool. Or maybe he's just gone through so much shit with copyright and stuff that he feels that this is something he has to. I don't know. All of these things are guesswork. The only thing I know for a fact is that I got an email saying that it's a copyright breach to do so. That's literally all they said, or all they asked, and I took it down. And I will not be pursuing the study group in the way I have been before. Also because, as I said, the overall thing was a bit of a disaster, because no one really liked the book. And in the end, I didn't really like the book myself. It's definitely not my favourite Peter Kingsley book. It felt pointless, and it felt like people have said, oh, it's so revelatory and all this. And I was like, it's not to me. Like, and maybe it's because I've saturated myself so much in the Peter Kingsley stuff already, that it's just when it came to his kind of reveal at the end, I was kind of like, and what? And a lot of people really didn't like, not a lot of people, it wasn't a huge study group, it was a handful of people, there was like 5 people or something that were involved in it ultimately, but didn't like his tone, and, you know, kind of didn't like a lot of what he was suggesting, and not really the ideas, but in the kind of the way he was suggesting, that he was very kind of down on Western world. Even I didn't find he's down on Western world. I think his point is mostly that there's a divine origin to the Western world in the way there's a divine origin to everything else, and that the Western world isn't like something that has gone wrong. It's not an aberration. It's not it's like part of the plan. But he is kind of quite down on, say, the scholars and stuff like that. So people didn't really like it in general, and there was kind of this I don't know, kind of an angry kind of buzz around the whole kind of study group this time, which I didn't really enjoy. And I had kind of mentioned on Discord that I probably wasn't going to do the study group anymore, at least not in the form it was, and I'm definitely not doing it now because it's just too much hassle, and I don't want hassle. So yeah, I think that's kind of all that's going on at the minute. Haircut, carpet tiles, office, copyright breaching, that kind of stuff. So onwards and upwards. When I do get moved into the office, I will be doing more art, thank God, and we will see what develops from that. I have a few ideas which I think you will all be very interested in if you like my previous work, and yeah, so we go from there. So that's it, good people of the internet. Until our next adventure, be well.